am tired and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself anymore. I guess I'm just not interesting. I have no personality. I met a guy with cancer, and he felt sorry for me. I've never been a social guy. I'm always making children cry. I guess that's just the way it's meant to be. Help me make it out of bed, 'cause I am scared and sad. Help me make it through the day, 'cause there's nothing out there for me anymore. 'Cause I'm always coming in last place and getting dirt kicked in my face, and everyone pushes ahead of me and no one stops to care. And I curse the gods each day in vain for giving me this life of pain, when all I really need's a little hug. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I am tired and alone. Help me make it through the night, 'cause I don't like myself anymore. I guess I'm just not interesting. I have no personality. I met a guy with cancer.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Check. Testing. Help. Help. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hello, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be getting very Halloweeny and spooky, because we're going to be making Henry's scary Frankenstein cupcakes. Halloween, obviously a very scary time. that is based on a pagan holiday that had to do with raising the dead and sacrifices and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm sure you probably know the history, but we celebrate it today here in America. I don't know if we celebrate it abroad, but by doing things like pumpkin, I have a jack-o'-lantern up here, and then I also have a skeleton hanging from a magnet, and it's very interesting and kind of scary. I put it up last night, and then when I woke up this morning, it had fallen onto the kitchen floor. So I don't know if some ghost came in and pushed it down, but anyway. Delinquent says, I don't know if I can watch your fridge decorations. They're scaring me. Now, don't be scared for real.
Okay.
They're just, it's all in fun. Hey, thanks, Giraffe Guy.
Okay.
Just resubscribed. That's Key 0607. Quanto says, watch out, there's a skeleton inside me. That's a kind of a terrifying thought. Maybe support. I'm coming back home from TwitchCon and I'm at the airport. How do I cook here? Did I read that correctly? How do I cook along here? Oh, well, I've been a lot of airports. I'm sure you can usually find an area where there's not that many people. And maybe in the bathroom or at the changing station, they might have something that you could set up a sort of a makeshift situation. Okay. Ox4273 just resubscribed. Okay, I want to say some exciting news. There's a TikTok now for Henry's Kitchen. And there's a video on there that seems to be going viral. It was me using the cheese grater, but it's just called Henry's Kitchen. If you're into TikTok, you can see it. It's exciting. It's just about up to 200,000 views now. So yesterday, when I went to bed, I think it was like 10,000 or something. So that's exciting. We're getting the word out. But let me talk to you guys. How's your morning going? 10 Carl just resubscribed for 2 months. Thanks, 10 Carl. Hacklin says, I really like my new shack, but last night there was someone in my apartment disguised as a ghost. I thought it was just a funny Halloween prank, but it was a burglar who stole my belongings. Yikes. Please send help, Henry. Yeah, I wouldn't really trust anybody, even if you assume that they're dressed up in fun, they could be nefarious. I might as well tell you a little bit of a ghost story that I had one time. My neighbor, a girl who lived downstairs from me, wanted to use my bathroom. And it was somewhere around Halloween, and she went in there, and she said that she had to just do it really quick. I guess she just said it was just number one. I guess that there was some problem with the plumbing in her apartment. But she was in there for a long time. Okay. Game Master Flash just subscribed. Thanks, Game Master. She was in there for a very long time, and I heard a lot of water running and a lot of other things going on. And then she left and said thanks. And then when I went in there, it seemed like somebody went number two, but she said that she didn't. So the only thing that we could assume is that some ghost or something might have done something weird in there. There's some stories that you just think of that you start telling and then you go, wow, maybe that wasn't really a great story. But I remember thinking that was probably the closest I've ever been to having a ghost, other than the skeleton falling. Everyone type Forson says, I think the cupcakes might be too scary for me. Should I make toast instead? These are not, they're supposed to be in fun. They're not supposed to be legitimately scary. There's nothing really scary about them except for, yeah, there is sort of a voodoo sort of element because we're going to be making dolls. I'll show you what we're going to be making, actually, if you want to take a quick peek. We're going to make these little Frankenstein cupcakes, but I could see how that could be scary to some people because it deals with black magic and voodoo and idolization, false idols, and a lot of things that are scary to a lot of people. But I want to assure you that we at Henry's Kitchen are just doing this in fun, and we don't want to offend anybody with what we're doing here. What the Duck says, I think there's something living in my attic. I constantly hear something walking up there whenever I watch your stream at 3 a.m. Can you say hi to the creature in my attic?
Okay.
Game Master has cheered 500. You might actually have some person living in your attic, and I would check that out because that doesn't sound safe. So join us, won't you? As we unearth the evil tomb of Halloween and exhume its sinister covenant with death straight from the bowels of hell. I'm going to turn off the air conditioner, although it's still very hot here. There was one other thing I was going to do before we started, and I'm not remembering. Does anybody remember what I was going to do? Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at our... Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to check in on Roast Beef, my cat. He actually has a pretty cool little piece of decoration, a bow tie. It's a Halloween bow tie that I gave him, and I think he's got like maybe a spider or something. Let me see. Yeah, it's like it's a bow tie, but it's fastened by a tarantula, so that's kind of exciting. Thank you, Ray and Yaren, for gifting a sub to Roast Beef. Very nice of you. Okay. So it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be fun, hopefully, when we're done, but it's going to be, in order to get there, we're going to have to do a lot of labor. And it may or may not be worth it, but we'll see. But we do have some songs lined up, and we also have some games ahead of us, so it's going to be a very fun Halloween. First thing I'm going to do is preheat the oven, because I always forget.
Okay.
Thanks, Beelzebub, for gifting Maybay's support. What do we got here? Bake for 15 to 17 minutes, but yeah, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I also have to take this stuff out of there. We're not going to use all of those. I have a, somewhere I've got a cupcake. Yeah. We're going to be using this thing. So, Speak Memory says, were you a good baker when you were a white-haired little boy? I didn't have white hair. I had blonde hair. But there were some kids in Southern California that had white hair. I think that was called tow-headed. And they were good people, just like anybody else is good people. There were some bad, but that's the way it works with everybody. Mr. Dink's Vibrator, if you don't have a cupcake tray like that, you can try drinking cups instead. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, well, thanks for that. Let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of shit here. We've got flour and sugar, which are staples. I have green candy melts and green green sprinkles. That's going to be for Frankenstein's skin. And I've got the black chocolate sprinkles, and that's going to be for his hair. And then we've got marshmallows for his head, eggs, some frosting, and I have an attachment here where you can make a frosting gun, and some pretzels and toothpicks, and that I believe is it, unless we come across some other stuff that we need. But we can always look for that in our refrigerator or whatever. Okay, so let's take a look at the first order of business. Preheat the oven at 350 degrees. That's very important. You don't want to get all the way in and find out, fuck, I gotta preheat the oven, and then just give up on the whole thing. And I've said in the past, if you want, during the cold months, it's okay to just leave your oven on all the time so you never have to worry about preheating. Let's see here. In a small bowl, we're going to sift together our flour, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. Except they don't say how much of those things, and I'm sorry, I hate when they do that. They just say, put this stuff together. So now I gotta go find the recipe on the internet. They do that to me every time. Okay. So I'm just putting in Frankenstein Cupcakes recipe, and there it is. Okay, it's on a website called Mom Foodie. This is not my creation, although I did do something similar on YouTube. You can see Henry's Frankenstein Cupcakes, but I realized I never put them in my recipe book, so I lost the recipe for good. But this one is similar. momfoodie.com. And what we're going to do is we want 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So here we go. Let's move all this shit out of the way. And let's get our small bowl. And we want 1 cup of the flour. So obviously this isn't going to fit in there, which is a problem. So we have to be very careful about making sure that none of it falls out. Okay. I'm going to pour a little bit back. Flour is a huge pain in the ass, I've found. But there's no, easy way to do it. I mean, you have to store it somewhere, and so I've got it in this thing. What I should have done is, I also have a half cup version of this. I should have done that because that'll fit in, and then you just use however many half cups make up 1 cup, which you can find easily with a calculator. Okay, so let's clean up a little bit. Got a dustpan. I found that it's better to clean as you go, because that way you don't have a huge mess at the end. But this is going to get messy, unfortunately. Okay, let's dump that. We'll put these items away for later. And we have, in the small bowl, we're going to mix together our flour. Oh, shit, cocoa powder I forgot all about, but we have it. We have Hershey's chocolate cocoa powder that I actually used when I was doing my whiskey barrel recipe. And so of this, we want a half a cup. So I'm just going to sort of guesstimate what a half is. That's easy enough. I think that looks like a half. And we also want baking powder. Fuck, I didn't know we had all this other stuff that we had to have. So baking powder is going to be a half a teaspoon. That's not even, that's hardly enough to even make a difference. But we'll do it, whatever. Baking powder, half a teaspoon. And then it wants bacon. Oh shit, I just did a full teaspoon. Whoops. We want a half a teaspoon of that. Half a teaspoon of baking soda, which I always thought that was the same as powder, but I guess not. I do have some baking soda. And we just want the half teaspoon. Fortunately, they've got one on here. But I'm a little worried that I did a full baking powder. I don't know what either of these things do, really. Okay. Put that away. If you're just joining us, hopefully in front of you, you've got baking powder, baking soda, flour, cocoa in a small bowl, and some salt. And in terms of the salt, we want just a pinch, which is the same as doing this. And then now we're going to sift it together. So I'm going to get a tool for sifting. I've got this thing. So when it's a liquid, you call it stirring. And when it's a solid, you call it sifting. That's something that I've learned. Oh, there goes our oven. See if you can get a closer up look here. Maybe I'll focus a little bit. Okay. Let's take a look at our roast beef cam here. Looks like he's waking up. Probably just realizing that he's got his bow tie on. I hope he still has his bow tie on. I think he smelled the chocolate. Okay, so this is pretty well sifted at this point, I would say. And now, in a separate bowl, we're going to whisk together our wet ingredients. They do this a lot. So let's get another bowl. I have an identical bowl. The wet ingredients are going to be eggs. I've got 2 large eggs. Got a little bit of shell in there, but that's not, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Let's go ahead and do this little trick that my grandmother said that she learned when she was in the joint. You take the same shell that it just broke off of, and you use it to take the shell out. There's something about the same shell wants to be back with its with the rest of itself or something. That probably is bullshit, but there's very few things in life that are harder than getting a shell out of an egg bowl. And unfortunately, it's something you have to do a lot. Okay, so we want the eggs, and then we're going to also add in butter. So 6 tablespoons of butter. That's a lot of butter. But let's do it. I'll show you what I have here. Every stick of butter will have this thing on it which tells you how many tablespoons. So here, if I want 6 tablespoons, I'm going to go all the way up to there. So I'm going to use almost the whole stick. And I think this is supposed to be pre-melted, but I'm going to have to melt it right now, which is a pain. But that seems to be the way it's going. I'll just cut out now. Just use whatever tool you have handy to do this. Oh boy. This is very hard butter. Okay, let's just put this on a plate, microwave safe plate, or bowl, which I seem to be running low on plates. This is a problem. I don't have a surface that I can use to put my butter down. I'll put it in the middle of these bowls here. While I wipe down another plate. I had a plate of guacamole toast that I made this morning with my coffee, and it wasn't very good, unfortunately, but I'm going to use the same plate for that. So let's put this in the microwave and soften it up. Let's do like 30 seconds. And it also wants some sugar. Gotta have sugar for your treats here. So how much sugar now? 1 cup of sugar, so that's a lot. That's my sugar. Butter's pretty well melted. Let's go ahead and put it in there with the eggs. See if we can zoom out a little bit here. And for our sugar we need, again, the 1/2 cup. Now where's my cup? Oh yeah, it's right here. Same kind of deal. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a different bowl because this, it says in a small bowl, but you know, if I put a 1/2 cup of sugar there, we're going to overflow. So I'm just going to get a bigger fucking bowl. Sometimes you get the feeling that these people who write these recipes are just trolling you. Okay, so let's do the 1/2 cup of sugar. So again, I can't get this thing in there, so I'm going to have to do that same method. Oh, you know what I'll do? This is what I said I was going to do last time. I have a 1/2 cup. So Alexa, how many 1/2 cups of sugar in 1 full cup? Alexa, are you there?
I'm here. I listen once I hear the wake word.
Alexa, how many 1/2 cups of sugar in 1 full cup?
0.5 cups of sugar is 0.5 cups.
Okay. Crappa just resubscribed. Thank you for doing that. 0.5 cups was the answer, so that's basically 1/2. Uh-oh. Oh, very scary. Let's check in on the roast beef cam here. Oh, he's gone. Uh-oh. Where could he be? Let me take a look. Oh, big surprise. He's in his feeding place. Unfortunately, his bow tie, well, I guess his bow tie is supposed to be around his neck, so we can't really see it from here. So, there you have that. Who hurt him? Yeah, no, this Lieslo, he's a very, very old cat, so when he gets up, he just starts screaming, I guess because of his joints hurting, and he's got a little bit of dementia as well. But don't we all? Okay, so we've got our sugar, and now we're gonna it says whisk together butter, sugar, and eggs, and then beat it vigorously. So let's start beating it. Well, wait a second. Oh, fuck. I put the wrong bowl. The sugar was supposed to go into this one. You know what? Fuck. I'm just going to put some sugar into that one as well. I'm not really banging on all cylinders right now, unfortunately, and I apologize. Let's start beating it. I need a fork. Can't find a fork. Okay. So you want to beat it vigorously. I think a lot of times when people think about Halloween, they think about Satan and the devil and people performing sacrifices of children or humans, and ancient druid dark magic practices, and drinking the blood of their enemies and whatnot. But I think when you start looking into the history of what Halloween really means, it's actually a lot more evil than people think it is. Witching Hour just subscribed, thanks, and Bobby Beeps as well, and I might have missed a couple of people here. Crappa, Steve Dale, 1986. Okay. And Rainy Aaron, Game Master Flash, Danger Room, a lot of people here, and also Kraken Knuckles. So, okay, this looks pretty well beaten at this point. Uh-oh. Okay. Now we're going to add the dry ingredients into our wet ingredients, and we're going to mix it until fully incorporated. Okay? So, sorry about that. I've got some butter sticking there. Oh, God. I just licked it off my finger for some reason, which turned out to be a terrible idea. There's a lot of butter. A lot of sugar butter. Okay. We're going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, and we're going to mix these until they're fully incorporated. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the smaller bowl going into the big bowl. Otherwise, this one might overflow. I think I'm going to have one of these pretzels right now. All right. Now we're going to mix this. We call it mixing, whereas if it was all dry ingredients, we would call it sifting. So we're doing sort of a half sift, half mix movement here. I'm not using the whisker anymore because this one seems like it's fucked up. Okay. What else do we got going on here? Let's just take a look at the job ahead of us. Okay. We're going to eventually... Thanks, Kooky Party. Just resubscribe. Thanks, Kooky Party. We're going to fill up each section of our muffin pan about 2/3 of the way, bake it, allow it to cool, and then we're going to decorate. Okay, so I think I see where they're going with this. What we're doing basically is we're making the cupcakes first, and then... you know, then we're going to do the decoration part. But we're going to have a little time for singing some spooky Halloween songs. This is kind of turning into a big gelatinous blob of some sort, which I guess is what we're supposed to do. All right. That's starting to look correct. So it says it wants us to fill up each section of the muffin pan. Okay. 2/3 of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our muffin pan. Wait. Sorry, I just want to check in on cat. I'm going to give him a little bit of food. Okay, I think I've set up a decent shot here of roast beef with his bow tie on backwards. Next step, we're going to take our batter here and we're going to start making cupcakes. I've got some environmentally friendly cupcakes. These come in a cardboard box and they're made out of paper as opposed to the plastic ones, in case anybody is conscious about that kind of thing. I try to reduce my carbon footprint wherever possible. And Borsenven says, what a lovely Halloween bow tie. Yeah, I agree. I think that thing was really cool. Parasitosis says, did roast beef see a ghost? That could explain his bizarre behavior. But he's unfortunately got no way to communicate that. All right, so let's go ahead and start lining our cupcake. Ideally, it'll stick at the bottom, but I guess it doesn't want to do that. That's okay. That one sort of did a little better, but we're going to put this in every one of these. If you're just joining us, you should have in front of you a gelatinous batter of chocolate cupcake blend, along with a cupcake lined muffin tin, whereby we will be filling our batter into the holes. So there's really nothing can really go wrong when you're doing this step. You're basically just baking at this point. If you've ever made cupcakes before, this is basically the method. You want to obviously try to make it so that it's going to be an even amount in each one. There might be a little bit of experiment. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I kind of have a way of eyeballing it and saying, okay, I need 12 cupcakes. You know, how much of this batter am I supposed to take out on each cupcake? And I would say the answer is probably about 1/12 of the batter in the bowl. I'm running out.
Okay.
The Russian 12321 just subscribed. Thank you.
Okay.
And so did Stepfather. Don't eat this cake batter because, for one thing, it doesn't taste very good, but also it's got raw egg in there, and raw egg will give you salmonella, which is a bacteria. I think it's a bacteria. I'm not really sure. But it's not fun. You'll be making multiple trips to the restroom and have it ruin your life for a long time.
Okay.
Okay, Bogey480 just subscribed. Thanks, Bogey480. All right, I think that's going to be good. And oh, by the way, this is going to expand, so don't worry if it looks like some of these holes aren't completely filled. But this is going to expand in the oven once we get to it. Uh-oh.
Okay.
I think roast beef's seen a ghost. Hurley Burley just subscribed. Thanks, Hurley Burley. Okay, so we're literally just going to bake these for 15 minutes, and we're going to allow it to cool, and then we're going to start decorating. So, Alexa, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, volume 10. Alexa, what's the weather today?
The current weather is 83 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can look for mostly sunny weather, with a high of 86 degrees and a low of 62 degrees.
Okay, so the weather's coming down a little bit. Let's do some music. We've got some requests that came in on the Discord. The Discord channel, by the way, is where you go if you want to do... this stupid thing comes off every now and then. If you want to request songs, recipes, if you want to post pictures of your food or your animals, or if you want to know what the recipe ingredients are the night before we teach the lesson, it's all on the Henry's Kitchen Discord. So we have a request here that came in from 2 people, and it's a very difficult song, but I'm going to try it because, you know, I like to think of myself as a team player. This came in from the domain GPCE, which I believe is my friends Brian and Raven, who I did their podcast that's called The Next Level recently. So check out that, the domain GPCE. And Purple is a Fruit also requested this song. It's a song that I remember hearing a lot when I was a kid, but it's very appropriate for Halloween. down to Georgia one day. He was looking for a soul to steal, and he was in a bind because he was way behind, and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you'd care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I'll bet a fiddle of gold against your soul, because I think I'm better than you." The boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet and you're gonna regret, because I'm the best there's ever been." He was kind of a dick. "Johnny, rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard, 'cause hell's broke through in Georgia and the devil deals it hard. And if you win, you get this shiny fiddle made of gold, but if you lose, the devil gets your soul." Well, the devil opened up his case and he said, "I'll start this show," and fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. And he pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. Then a band of demons joined in and it sounded a little like this. Devil played. Well, when the devil finished, Johnny said, "Well, you're pretty good, old son, but just sit down in that chair right there and let me show you how it's done. Fire on the mountain, the run boys run. The devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in the bread pack picking out dough. Granny, does your bug bite? No child, no." What the hell kind of lyrics are these here? And then Johnny plays. Started doing some of the same stuff the devil was doing, it looks like, you know. And then we get to the end. The devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat, and he laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Devil, just come on back if you ever want to try again. But I told you once, you son of a bitch, I'm the best there's ever been." And he played, "Fire on the mountain, run boys run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Chicken in the bread pan picking out dough. Granny kills your dog. Bite no child, no." Whew. That's, you know, a lot of those lyrics. Granny will your dog bite, no child, no. It must be a southern expression in Georgia or something, but I have a little bit of an issue with this song because if I'm understanding it correctly, the devil saw this guy Johnny and he said, "Hey, I'll bet that I'm better than you and I've got a fiddle made of gold." And he played, and I thought he played pretty good. And but then Johnny said, "Well, you're not as good as I am." And then he played, and I guess it was pretty good. I don't know who judged the contest. I would imagine whoever's judging it, they're not going to pick the devil. They're not going to say, "Johnny, we like you, but the devil is better than you." Of course, you know. So they it was probably rigged. And then the other problem I have with it is that when the devil says, all right, well, I don't know how you guys judge this thing, but I lost fair and square, so I'm going to go ahead and take the golden fiddle that I was talking about and give it to you. And I think that was a gentlemanly thing to do. He honored the bet that they had. And then Johnny calls him a son of a bitch. He said, I told you, you son of a bitch. I'm the best there's ever been. Really? Like, that's a little hardcore.
Okay.
Steven909 just resubscribed. Thanks, Steven. You know, if I were the devil, I'd be like, look, we did a bet. I gave you the golden fiddle. I don't know if you need to be bringing my mom into the situation here. And so I think the devil actually, I don't think they spent enough time in the song making the devil a bad person, so you kind of feel bad for him at the end. But I guess that's sort of what Halloween is all about. It's about sympathy for the devil. Which brings us to this next song, which is not Sympathy for the Devil, but it's another song from the same band that was requested to us by Mr. Breaky and Cornchecks. By the way, that last one again, the Domain GPCE and Purple is a Fruit. Thanks for that one. And this one was requested to us by Mr. Breaky and Cornchecks. Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
You have 5 minutes and 50 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
Okay. So I think that's enough time. This song's much longer than that, but we're not going to do the whole thing, but we'll do a little bit. But this is Mr. Breaky and Cornchecks wanted to hear this song. I saw her today at the reception.
Oh, hi.
No-eyed Yeti. Thanks for gifting what's up. A glass of wine in her hand. I knew she was gonna meet her connection. At her feet was a footloose man. Footloose man, that can only be Kevin Bacon. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. Oh yeah, now. Oh, sing it to me, honey. I saw her today at the reception. In her glass was a bleeding man. She was practiced at the art of deception. Well, I could tell by the blood-stained hands. Okay, so that sounds like a woman that he was not fond of. Maybe a witch? You can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. I said you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. Oh yeah, you get what you need. Oh baby, now sing it. Okay, so that song is You Can't Always Get What You Want, requested by Mr. Breaky and Corn Checks on the Discord. Alexa, how much time left?
You have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
Okay, I'm going to try to set up our roast beef cam again. Okay, so he seems to be pretty comfortable in his area under the sink. So I don't see the thing. I don't know if he got rid of it or what. I don't know how he would have taken it off, actually. Doesn't have arms, so maybe that's kind of a spooky ghost thing. I mean, he's got arms, but not in a way that he could untie it. But a ghost took it, is what McRide1 says, and I think I agree. MC Ride 1. Oh, Zodbane says, hello, Henry. I'm a bit late to the stream. I hope you didn't drop the cupcakes like in your video 6 years ago. Yeah. It was pretty unfortunate, actually. When I was taking I don't remember what happened. I had a visitor. I had my cupcakes sitting in a delicate area, and then I knocked them over. And so what I had to do is I had to scrape off, I had to cut the tops of it, the muffin tops. But it actually wound up being a good thing. Hacklin says, if it's too hot, just open the fridge. Yeah. Kairosa says, this is a good message for Halloween. Every time I go back... wait, hold on. It scrolled by here. Every time I go trick-or-treating, my neighbors always give me circus peanuts instead of the good candy. Guess I just need to be happy with what I get. Yeah. Well, I tried to hand out my my whiskey barrels a couple of years ago to the kids, and I think what it is that people freak out if it's not in some kind of a package. So again, corporate America wins. But when I was a kid, it was completely normal. Alexa, stop. It was completely normal to receive homemade baked goods when you went trick-or-treating. Alexa, stop. And not even just when I was a kid. I mean, I was trick-or-treating probably well into my mid-20s. Pipper Coho says, best Halloween candy. I would say candy corns for sure. Or those little coffee candies. Well, it sounds like our cupcakes are ready. Let's go ahead and get these out. I'm going to stop this. We're going to let them cool. But there we go. I'd say these are pretty good. Maybe a little bit short in the back, but overall, like, we have some really nice ones. Like that one's good. But let's start getting into our decoration. I'm going to take this and put it someplace safe. So that they don't fall like what we had last time. So I'll put them right here in front of our drawing there. Good. These are still holding up. This is exciting for me. Halloween is always my favorite time because...
Okay.
GurMDV just resubscribed. Thank you. I don't know. I guess it's very social with the, families out on the sidewalk, and it's fun to dress up as weird things and go to the grocery store or whatever. Jesse, I'm so excited for these cupcakes. Me too. Yeah, these are very exciting. Let's start getting into our design element here. Time to decorate. So we're going to allow those cupcakes to cool. We're going to line a pan with wax paper and set aside. So I've got this pan here. Did I turn off the oven? Yeah. And I do have wax paper. I'm actually not sure where they're going with this. That's plastic wrap. Here's the wax paper. It just says line a pan with wax paper and set it aside. Game Master Flash just gifted 5 subs. Thanks, Game Master Flash. Insert a toothpick into the center of each marshmallow. We can do that. We've got toothpicks. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab our marshmallow. These are very old marshmallows, so that's why there's some of them are a little jacked up, but that's okay. Marshmallows actually do not go bad. I'm going to have another one of these pretzels to eat because I'm hungry. I don't usually like to support eating while you're cooking. It's better to reward yourself when you're done, but I'm just too damn hungry. All right, let's get our toothpicks, which we have here, and it says that it wants us to insert a toothpick in the center of each marshmallow, making sure it doesn't come through the other side. Okay. Let's go ahead and tighten up here. Get a good view of it. So what we're doing then is we're taking our marshmallows. You do not want it to come through on the other side. So there we go. I don't know why we're doing this actually. Maybe to hold it in place. But we're going to do that with each one. And I'm going to try to get through quickly. Meantime, let's see if you have any questions. We've got Flight Maria 99. I didn't see you at TwitchCon, but wanted to say hi. Yeah, you know, I'm really disappointed in myself, but also I talked to the friends of mine that I know that were going to maybe go, like Nim, who I was really looking forward to hanging out with in person, but he wasn't able to go. And then my friend Bill Larkin from Bill Larkin Music Channel, I thought that he was going to go, so none of my friends were going, so I thought it might have been just sort of me standing around feeling awkward like I always do at these social events. And I just kind of decided against it. But I'm disappointed in myself because there's an old expression, you miss 100% of the shots that you take. And I think that's kind of what happened to me there. All right, we're just about done here. So if you're just joining us, okay, hopefully you have marshmallows in front of you with toothpicks stuffed inside them. If you don't have that, then you might want to go back earlier in the video and find out what happened. Okay, so our next order of business here. Let's check in on roast beef here. He's still doing okay. Oh, he does have the collar on. That's good. We've inserted our toothpick. Place candy melts into a microwave, these things. And I'll give you a good look at these. They're sort of like chips of some sort. Candy. They're like chocolate chips. And they're fucking delicious too. I'm going to eat one of them. They're basically chocolate chips, but they're green. Because they're going to be Frankenstein skim. We're going to put these in the microwave for 30 seconds. or until it's completely melted. And then we're going to dip the marshmallows into that, and then we're going to place it on the pan. Okay, I see where they're going with this now. You're going to take our pan. We're basically going to set up a, I guess what you would call a makeshift sort of assembly line, if you will, whereby we're going to have our marshmallows. Unfortunately, nothing happened here, so we're probably going to have to do this again. That's unfortunate. Alright, I'm going to do another 30 seconds. But let's try to get a good sort of a demonstration here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do it more like this. And I think we're also going to need... Oh shit! Something really bad just happened. My microwave just exploded or something. I'm gonna have to look into that because it made a terrifying sound, and it looked like there was lightning inside. I don't know what the hell that was, but it kind of freaked me out. Sorry if I got a little bit if I overreacted there, but it was pretty startling. All right, we're gonna need to. Okay, these are melted. This is melted. I'm gonna have to maybe look into getting a new microwave or something because you don't want stuff like that happening there. Okay. Okay, so once again from our directions, we will be dipping each marshmallow into green candy and then placed on our wax paper lined pan. So here we go. I've got one marshmallow here and we're just gonna dip it into the green area. Try to get all of it if you can. Actually, there's a step missing here, and that's that we need our chocolate sprinkles, which is supposed to be his hair. And I need a knife. They make these things so hard to open. You'd think it was like some kind of uranium or something. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to make this part of our assembly line here. And let's move our pretzels. We don't have a place to put our pretzels for now, but we'll put them over here. Okay. And of course we're making a big fucking mess, so it wouldn't be cooking if we weren't making a mess. All right. Oh no, yeah. I need to change the battery in the camera, which is something that I've kind of had to start getting used to now. Hold on a second. Sorry about some of the technical stuff going on here, but let's see if that fixed the problem. Thank you, the Wolfman. A lot of Halloween-y names here. Okay, good. We've got the camera set up. This is all stuff I wouldn't have been able to do a couple months ago. But I've had to learn. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, so we have a green marshmallow here. I'm going to dip it into our chocolate sprinkles, and that's going to be Frankenstein's hair. Okay. And so let's go ahead and do this some more. And, you know, if yours doesn't come out as perfect looking as the sort of craftiness that I've got going here, don't feel inferior or, you know, like you suck or whatever. I've been doing this a very long time. Plus, I was just sort of naturally pretty gifted when it came to arts and crafts.
Okay.
Baby Moo 53, thanks for joining us, or thanks for subscribing. But yeah, so you know, I remember growing up with this kid. It was my friend.
Okay.
It's Damien, just subscribed. My friend Jesse. When we were growing up, he had a very strict father. And I just remember feeling bad for him because he wasn't very good at arts and crafts. And if he had come home with Frankenstein heads that looked like shit, his dad would have really, really been upset. And I just felt bad. Boy, there's a lot of subscriptions coming in here. Enron WorldCom subscribed, and so did GameBit EQW and UTS Damien. Baby Move 53, the Wolfman. All right, thank you guys. If you're just joining us, we're dipping marshmallows into green stuff. Thanks, Simply Stin, for subscribing. And then we're putting them into the chocolate sprinkles for Frankenstein's hair. Let's go ahead and get more chocolate sprinkles, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Curious Curse just subscribed. Very nice of you, Curious Curse. All right, we've got everything under control now. We've had a couple of setbacks. Thanks, BZ Kaiser. I think I remember that name. We've had a couple of setbacks, and part of it is that the microwave sort of, I guess, kind of exploded, or something exploded in there. And I don't think it was a ghost. I think it was a technical mishap. Tony just resubscribed for 3 months. Thank you. By the way, still no word from Twitch about me becoming a partner. I fulfilled all the requirements, and I tried getting in touch with them. Or no, I sent in the application about 3 weeks ago, but I still haven't heard anything. And if anybody has any insight on that, I guess I just sort of want to be part of that club, you know. I'm not really sure exactly what gets to happen, but Pussy just subscribed. Thanks, Pussy. All right, we're getting there with this. And this is going to be absolutely delicious, guys. I mean, even if it's just the green stuff here, I mean, that is like a fine sort of white chocolate, but it's green, and it's just delicious. Sometimes you could just sit there and eat the chips if you're watching a scary movie or something. Eat the chips by themselves, like popcorn or something. All right, I'm gonna get more chocolate sprinkles here. More green stuff. We want 12 total.
Okay.
That was The Puss. Just subscribed. Thanks, The Puss. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Super duper pick. Why are you swearing so much today? Well, I had a microwave that made an explosion sound that's going to make somebody use some foul language. I don't really know how it works on Twitch. I've always been a guy who uses that kind of language when I'm with my friends and stuff, but I guess that I don't know if Twitch is maybe more of a TV friendly place or whatever, or family friendly place where you want to keep things like that. But let me know if that's a problem. And I guess I can stop doing it. By stop doing it, I mean stop cooking. But okay, and then we've got this last one, which is a little bit messed up. And I'm out of toothpicks, but not to fret. I might be able to actually use one of our pretzels as a toothpick. There we go. Geez. By the way, can you hear me okay? Test. Yeah, Jesse brings up a good point, the plastic forks, but the problem there is that I guess you can't put them in the oven afterward. I found out sort of the hard way on that. Okay, so we have that. There we go. All right, so we've got our Frankenstein heads with us. We have our cat roast beef sleeping with his bow tie on, and at the moment anyway, all is right with the world. Next order of business would be to start decorating the faces of our Frankenstein heads. Okay, so we want to put eyes and a mouth on there. All right, so place Frankenstein marshmallow heads on the cupcakes. So that's going to be a little complicated. I'm not sure how we're going to do that, but we're going to do it. Let's get our frosting rather. So I have ready. I've got this frosting, Betty Crocker decorating icing red. And I believe I'm able to take one of our, I have some attachments that'll give us some pretty cool frosting guns that we can use. I think I'm probably just going to go with this one. I guess that's just this. There we go. Now this one, you want to be very, very careful how you do this. I'll let you get a good look at it. It's dripping. That's a problem. Well, anyway, it's kind of cool. It's sort of like blood or something, maybe. But that wasn't what I was going for. But yeah, we're going to do the eyes and the nose. That one looks like he's kind of smiling. You don't want to spend too much time with this. You're basically going to eventually eat it anyway. That one's kind of not very good. We'll try to give them really mean eyes here. Make it so that you can see this a little better here. That doesn't really look like a face. Sorry I'm not answering questions right now. I'm very focused here. I'm almost done though. Why didn't you use your grain food coloring you accidentally used in your other cooking streams? Hacklin says. Let me think about that one. Well, green food coloring wouldn't have contrasted against the green frosting, I guess. But here, I actually didn't want red. I was going to get black, but this is the only one they had. But I think it's one of those happy accidents because this actually sort of worked out. Okay, let's give you a good look of these from right side up. Take a look here. These are our Frankenstein heads. You can see how they've got sort of a defined face on them with the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And just to go back and forth to look a little bit at what we're doing here, what we were going for, we've got our and we're not done yet, of course, so it's not completely there yet, but still a couple elements missing. For example, we need to do our pretzels, and it says here, snap off a small piece of the pretzel and stick one on either side of the coated marshmallow. So let's go ahead and do that now. And this is going to be like the, I guess, the bolts in his head. Try to be careful not to mess up the whole thing while you're doing it. Okay, so I don't know if here on Henry's Kitchen we've done anything that was this nuanced in terms of needing to be exactly perfect when it comes to the crafting part of it, but that is part of cooking. I might have to start breaking off smaller pieces of pretzel because I'm running out, because I ate a few of them while we were working, which I don't recommend. Okay. Yeah, I'm basically out of pretzels. So maybe there'll be some that don't have pretzels. I don't know. I've got another pretzel here. If you're just joining us right now, we're making Frankenstein cupcakes for Halloween. They're very scary, but not scary in a real way, like, you know, seeing people steal your catalytic converter or something like that. This is just scary in sort of a fun Halloween kind of a way. There we go. Okay, so there's two of them that don't really have pretzels. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take off from the ones that we did here that were really big. Rennie Wren just subscribed. It's tricky because I don't want to mess up what we had there. So this is our Frankenstein. This is, I think this is probably a good version of it. He's got the bolts in his head, he's got the hair, and he's got the grimace on his face. Remember, Frankenstein himself was patched together in sort of a you know, makeshift fashion. So it's not like we're too far off the mark here. And I don't think that we're looking too much different if you look at our example. But let's go for the last step here. We've used our frosting to give Frankenstein his stitched mouth. We're going to place the Frankenstein marshmallow heads on top of the cupcakes, one for each. Okay, so here we go. I guess we're going to need a serving platter here. How are we going to do this? Okay. I've got another makeshift assembly line here that we're working with. It's basically Frankenstein heads on the right. We're getting sprinkles all over the place. And we've got our cupcakes on the left. On my right and left. Yours is probably reversed. But let's start making cupcakes, guys. So we're going to take one of these, and then we're going to take a Frankenstein, and we're literally just going to dip it on in there. And these are going to be nice to hand out to the kiddies when they come trick-or-treating. I think they're probably going to appreciate the craftsmanship of it. Kids always like that kind of thing. So if you're doing this at home, I'd like to see what yours look like. I know obviously they're not going to look as good as these, but I'm always curious to see how you're doing in terms of learning how to cook. And this is definitely one of the more difficult dishes that we've had to do, but I'd say it's coming out pretty damn good. Running out of room a little bit, but I think we can probably figure this out. We have a couple of kind of... Wait, where does face go? I don't know how this happened, guys, but somehow I made more Frankensteins than we needed. But I guess better to have too many than too few. Okay, so if we can get this guy to put his head forward for picture time. This is it. This is Henry's very scary Frankenstein cupcakes. Here, let's zoom in a little bit here. So you can get a good shot of that. And you compare them to the ones that we were going for. Obviously, they have some other situation going on with the eyes, but other than that, I'd say this is pretty close to being a perfect rendition. So there you have it, Henry's Frankenstein cupcakes. Now for the fun part. Let's eat. I've been waiting for this part for a while. If you have coffee, this is good to sip a little bit of coffee with. Unfortunately, I don't have any coffee, but let's go ahead and see what we have to work with. I'm going to take this one because the face got messed up somewhere along the line, so I don't feel like I'm ruining anything, but you just simply take it out of the liner and get the toothpick out of there right away. I just poked my lip with a toothpick. There's a hair there. Okay. It could be sweeter. Sixween5, the toothpick adds to the scary Halloween theme. Yeah. Kind of reminds you of people putting razor blades and other objects in the candy that they hand out. But the thing is, I will be giving these out to the trick-or-treaters, so I don't want to have them bite into toothpicks. All right, well, we did it. But it was quite a bit of work. I think, the pretzel part is actually pretty good. Let's see if there's any questions. What the Duck says, what if the tradition of giving candy is meant to scare kids when they have diabetes later on? Yeah. That's actually is a real one of those actual scary things. Kobe Singh Bryant says, that's a success if I've ever seen one. Thank you. Thank you. Breezy Bob says, so scary. Thank you very much. I mean, that was the goal there. Phoenix1333 asks, is frosting okay to stick heads to cupcakes?
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. A Bowl of Milk just subscribed for 5 months. Thank you, Bowl of Milk. That's a great idea. You could put frosting on the top of these things and then let the marshmallow or the Frankenstein head sit in it, and then you wouldn't have to use the toothpicks. That's a much, much better way to do it, because that actually really hurt when I bit into that toothpick. Saw Hunter says you're running out of time and not talking about the stream. Oh, I'm not talking about the stream. He's saying I'm running out of time. That's a very creepy thing to say. I guess maybe he's looking at me through a window or something like that. You can use the can of butter. If you had more pretzels, you could have used substitutes. Yeah, I suppose I could have. Let's see.
Okay.
Nice to meme you. Just resubscribe. Turf or no. I'm out of red frosting for the Frankenstein. Can I use toothpaste and goat blood instead? I would imagine you could use toothpaste. Goat blood, I'm sure you could probably find something else that's red. Thanks, Geldsack, for subscribing. Before I go too close to finishing up here, I want to say a very special thank you. Thanks, the Elusive Man just resubscribed. Thanks.
Okay.
Broken Arrow just subscribed. Thanks. Broken Arrow, maybe, with 2 V's. Turgid Carrot says, what's the deal with airline food? Airline food in general is not so bad. I don't think you're going to be seeing them serve well-crafted dessert-type delicacies like what we made here today on Henry's Kitchen. But they certainly do their best to give you the basics. Anyway, I'm going to thank some people here. Some very important people. Without whom this whole Twitch experience wouldn't have happened. Starting off with our moderators, who came forward really early on in my Twitch career a few months ago. Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Dog Goggy, Dr. Flanges, and Bacchus. Thank you so much for doing the work that you're doing. And I also want to thank Quanto, who's been a technical advisor. So you see a lot of times when you're going back and forth between different cams, there's a really cool sort of sort of a transition there. And that's because of Quanto designing that, and a lot of other great technical stuff too. So thanks, Quanto. And I also want to thank my friends on Twitch that answered questions for me early on and helped me out. Those are people like Bill Larkin Music, who has his own channel. Also, Bumblevision, The LGX, Sir Doom, and Daisy Blossom. I want to thank Melon95 and Pilskman for coming forward and offering help. I also want to thank some of these big streamers. Nim, number one, got me onto Twitch and has still been a friend since then. And I'm very appreciative to Nim for getting me on here to begin with. And some of these other streamers who've been showing the Henry's Kitchen videos on their channels. Moon, XQC, Forsen, Emaru, and Brian W. Foster. Thank you so much for spreading the word. And once again, I'm very excited that there's a TikTok now, Henry's Kitchen, which is pretty incredible. And I didn't make it. Quanto, I believe, collaborated with somebody on making it and is letting me sort of moderate it. But I think that they're doing a great job. And one of the videos on there, I don't know if we have a current count. Maybe Quanto, you could tell me. But when we went in today, I think we were up to about 184,000 views on it. 250,000 views is what S3XYZ says. Wow, it's really, maybe it'll get to 1 million. That's really exciting. So thanks everybody. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out.
Okay.
Hills the Pills just subscribed. Thanks, Hills the Pills. All right, well,
Okay.
and so did Brian W. Foster resubscribing. Thanks, Brian. Brian's been very supportive as well, so I really appreciate that. And I think we have a request for another song here.
Okay.
This song was requested to us. HK just subscribed, KAY. This song was requested to us by someone named... Got too much paperwork here now. J-Rod, J-R-O-D, J-Rod. It's okay, it's not perfectly tuned, but we're gonna do this song that was requested by J-Rod, and it's got a lot of words too, and this is kind of an odd one to do. It's not Halloween related. It's a little bit more like something that you would sing at the end of your life, which one of the commenters said that I didn't have much time, so maybe this is an appropriate one to do. Or maybe this would be a good one for our cat, Roast Beef, who doesn't have a whole lot of time, but you know what? He's had a good life. I feel like I've had a good life, and that's basically all you can hope for. I mean, my life was good in the first, I'd say, 15 years of it anyway. But, okay. So here we go. This song is sort of an end of life song. TQ Mank or TQ Mank subscribe. Thanks, TQ Mank. Here we go. Sorry, this is awful. I think it's just the guitar itself. It's only going to get so in tune, but here we go. Sorry. And is near, and so I face the final curtain. And friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets? I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and I saw it through without exception. I planned each chartered course, each careful step along the byway. I wonder what byway is gonna rhyme with. And more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I'm gonna take it down a little bit. I've loved, I've laughed and cried. I've definitely cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Wonder what that's gonna rhyme with. Oh no, not me. I did it my. It's gonna get loud again. One more time, the big climax here. Way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. That felt so good, I'm gonna do the last line again. The record shows I took some blows, but I did it my way. Well, I wish I knew a song that could top that one, but I really don't have one.
Okay.
Let's see, wait, who was that? That was someone, Beelzebub gifted Esitis. Thanks for doing that, Beelzebub. And Cat9, K9, 2Mank. Some questions here. Do I know the French version of it? El Napo says, Comme d'habitude, it's called. D'habitude. I think I might have made that one time as one of my recipes. Doxino, you know Sinatra hated that song, right? Yeah, you know, I'm actually very well versed in Frank Sinatra biographical information, and a lot of people don't know this. Apparently, Frank Sinatra never listened to his own recordings, and his handlers always told him it was a good idea to listen to the recordings, and that way you can improve yourself. But he always refused, and I always think to myself, wow. It's interesting to think about how much more successful Frank Sinatra could have been if he had only listened to his handlers and what their advice was about listening to his own recordings. It's Kate X. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Let's see. There was a cool compliment here from Big Diesel. Oh yeah, I remember watching you back in 2011 in the Army. You were awesome. I love me so totally wholesome and not totally self-deprecating humor. Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. And thank you for your service, Big Diesel. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure what time it is where you are, but for me it's pushing 2 p.m. and that's usually about the time that I go to bed. Newt 34, your painting is finally right side up. Yeah, now that we've had some issues with this painting here, and we can't figure out whether it's supposed to be one way or the other. But well, I've definitely got my share of Frankenstein cupcakes to finish off. Let's get one final look at what we did today. This is the Frankenstein cupcake. Very scary. Certainly brings to mind thoughts of Satan and the dark magic that the Druids would perform when they would do their virgin sacrifices and whatnot. Certainly a little bit scarier than the ones that we set out to make. But that's okay. Well, everybody, I guess that's going to conclude for Henry's Kitchen today. I'm not going to I'm not going to have time to play more Stray, but I'm going to do it when I pick up on Wednesday for the stream there, Wednesday. And hopefully there'll be some good news coming. I promised everybody I'd play the electric guitar if I get to be a partner, and I'm going to hold true to that. And also, don't forget that Thursday nights I've been doing just songs and games, no cooking, which has actually been very liberating. But I do want to say, I think I'm going to change the time on that because I don't know if that time really works for anybody. Fawcan says surely Twitch is just busy with TwitchCon to fix it now. Oh, that might be it. Okay. Yeah, they're probably thinking about TwitchCon, and that's why I'm not hearing back. I thought it was a little more automated than that, but I guess not. Anyway. Oh, somebody said something about the schedule. Schedule doesn't say. About Thursday. Future Grinta. Oh, really? I thought I added it on there. Yeah, I've been doing Thursday nights at 9 p.m. I should have added it on there. Sorry about that. But definitely Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time and Sundays at noon. I always do it. So, literally, the owner of Twitch says, life is like a sandwich. That means the 15 years will be good too. Oh, because I had a good 15 years, the last 50 years. Yeah, if I make it to that. But so that by that reasoning, if you have a shitty first 15 years, then you have a long, great life, and then the last 15 years suck. I guess that makes sense. Life is like a sandwich. Anyway, well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us here on Henry's Kitchen. I'm going to have another one of these delicious cupcakes. That one looks too good. This one really did come out like a pretty damn good Frankenstein there. So I got to pick one that's shitty. Yeah, this one is the one I'm going to pick probably to go ahead and eat because I don't really care what it looks like. So thanks again, everybody. I hope you all have a great week coming up. And thanks to all the help, everybody. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.